My name is Maria Cervania, and I serve all of you, although I do live in a residential district 41, I do serve every one of you in North Carolina. Thank you. It is an honor to be joined by the Clean Water for North Carolina organization and community leaders from all over the state to discuss the growing impacts of a large scale and also just generally data centers in North Carolina when it comes to our communities, our natural resources, and our future. Increasingly, data center developers are targeting rural and lower income communities in North Carolina because they can access land, water, and energy infrastructure more easily than some other areas in our state. While these projects are often promoted as economic development opportunities, many residents are raising serious concerns about the long-term costs and their communities that have to bear them. Residents are also raising concerns about noise pollution, heat generation, air quality, impacts on backup generators, and potential effects on public health and the quality of life in general. Farmers are worried about the permanent loss to productive farmland. Local governments are questioning whether the tax incentives are being even offered or producing benefits that justify the costs that are being incurred by these projects. So today we will hear from our residents here. Thank you so much for joining us. Our educators, our farmers, business owners, and local advocates who are experiencing firsthand the challenges associated with proposed and existing data center projects. These concerns include, like I had mentioned earlier, but it needs to be really emphasized: water consumption, energy demands, environmental impacts, land use, transparency, and whether local communities have a meaningful voice in the decisions that impact their future. So again, we are here today to elevate their voices of the affected communities all over North Carolina and to discuss legislative priorities that will help ensure data center pays for their own way. That's right. Protect our natural resources, increase transparency, and provide meaningful safeguards for residents. So first, I would like to introduce Luca Kennedy. She is their communications manager at the North Carolina Environmental Justice Network.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. 8 months ago, we began organizing statewide, and together we built the North Carolina Data Center Resistance Network. Today, we have 180 members, organizers from across the state that are sharing resources and supporting each other. In March, we held a statewide strategic convening, and we collectively committed to stand against this extractive industry. We want community protection, not corporate welfare. We want clean water and clean air, not more pollution harming our health. And we want land for affordable housing and regenerative agriculture, and not for AI warehouses that increase surveillance and support ICE in kidnapping our neighbors. We want a functioning representative democracy and not NDAs and AI lobbyists. Today, 140 people are here at the North Carolina General Assembly. We come equipped with love for the land, love for the people, and facts backed by research. We come supported by 30 local moratoriums and 1 ban from communities across North Carolina. We stand energized by the statewide moratoriums that have passed in Maine and in New York. And we come by regulations that have been passed in cities and counties across the country. And we know we're not alone. We are the unified voice of the overwhelming majority in this country. Tomorrow, we will even be stronger. We will continue to build this intersectional liberatory movement, and we will continue this fight until we protect our entire state from the many harms of AI data centers, and we will continue to stand with other states across the country. Thank you. And I'm going to introduce the first speaker. Ms. Carol Olinger is from Fayetteville, North Carolina in Cumberland County. Ms. Olinger is a retired teacher and an organizer at Action NC.
Hey everyone! What's up? I am Carol Olinger. I live in Hope Mills, North Carolina. The Action NC office that I work out of is in Fayetteville. And I have a quick story. You know, in Fayetteville, they did pass a moratorium. But listen, because they're tricky. The county passed a 6-month moratorium, the county. Fayetteville City, we're on a 150-day pause. That's different. And that pause is up August 10th. There's all kinds of issues in that, the county and the city together, where they're kind of working, they're kind of not. It's a hot mess. I wanted to talk about the water really quick. And this is my grandson, Jaden. He has a quick story, too. So in Fayetteville, Cumberland County, we're facing serious questions. Should we welcome a large-scale data center? Or should we slow it down and fully examine the long-term impacts before approving them? Supporters urge that data centers could bring economic growth, and it will. Construction workers, it will. Custodian workers, that will. But then what about the long-term part? Where are the people that can give back a long-term job, a livable wage? Where are those people? Are they going to bring them from our community or somewhere else? You already know the deal. You do. We want to have stuff, real things. What's the real cost? My grandchildren's future is the real cost. Yours too. The concerns for residents are real, and we deserve to have more than just vague promises. One of the biggest concerns is the water usage. Modern data centers require enormous amount of water for cooling systems, especially AI-powered facilities operating around the clock. Across the country, some centers consume hundreds of thousands of gallons of water. Look, we're in a drought. If you didn't know, we're in a drought. The Cape Fear River, our Cape Fear River, is low right now. Y'all, in our region, we're dealing with PFAS. PFAS is a forever contaminant in our water. I'm an infected person. I'm on dialysis because of that. It's a serious thing. It's in our drinking water. The water is not Republican or Democrat. We all need the water. And my time's almost up, so I have to share.
Hi, my name is Jadis, and I also have a quick story. Like, AI is also good. Following up on my grandma said, it can be used to help build toy houses. It can help, with a lot of things, but it has one big issue. It's like the water usage. It uses up so much water regularly that and it pushes out so much infected water that now my grandma is on dialysis, and I feel like if we don't solve this quickly, more people in the future can be on dialysis, and even one of my grandchildren or my children, and I just don't want it to happen.
Mr. Kevin Wilson is from Tarboro, Edgecombe County. He is the owner of Oak Grove Retreat and chair and co-founder of Edgecombe Neighbors for Data Center Accountability.
Yes, I know a lot of groups have been talking about May 8 months or October, November since they've been involved in this fight. Tarboro had its first acquaintance with data centers back in July of last year. We had 3 days notice to prepare for a city council meeting that was going to have a hearing. And we managed to convince our town council to say no to that data center. But the data center developer, who is one of the data center developers for Fayetteville, sued the town of Tarboro. That case is still pending in Superior Court. We don't know what will happen in July, hopefully, when that case comes up. Kingsborough Industrial Park. First of all, the location in Tarboro, where that one was going to be, was about 1.5 miles from my but our retreat center, where we have meditation and a place to go for people to find peace and quiet. Our 1.5 miles is not far enough from that. The one in Kingsborough was going to be about 3 miles away. Again, no, not a good situation. So I got very much involved in this at that point. I have spent the last 12 months studying data centers and at one point trying to look for areas where we could compromise and allow. I've yet to be able to find any compromise that doesn't subject the citizens of that community that live in relationship to that area a lot of hardships. And it's not just the people that live within that general area. The whole county, the whole region is affected by the sound, by the pollution, by the electrical costs, by the water issues that go along with this. And it cannot be compromised out for any of those things. I have to say that Edgecombe County, I feel very fortunate to be with a group of people that have been fighting this kind of thing for 30, 40, 50 years. It was in late 1980s that they wanted to build a toxic waste incinerator in Edgecombe County. Our group that was there at that time fought against it, defeated it. In the mid-1990s, IBP at that time, now it's Purdue Farms, I believe, was trying to build a hog processing center in the Kingsborough area. They kill 20,000 hogs a day. Again, tremendous water usage that we could not use. And fact is, that is what stopped the IBP plant, was water. And we feel like it's again this pain point. You're talking about the Cape Fear River. We can walk across the Tar River right now, and we're on a system where they're asking us to stop using as much water. So there's many aspects to this data center issue, and I hope that other people will learn and gain more knowledge about it so they can talk about it legitimately to tell their friends. Thank you.
Mr. Sean Ingram from Rockingham in Richmond County. He's a farmer and co-founder of Richmond County Coalition for Justice and Black Empowerment.
Thank you for that. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I'll be quick, brief, but impactful. I stand here today as a son of this soil. I stand here as a descendant of indigenous Black people who have lived on this land, worshiped on this land, buried our loved ones in this land, and fed our families from the land for generations. We are farmers. We are land people, Black people who have lived on this land, worked this land, worshiped on this land, and buried our loved ones on this land. We come from people who knew how to survive from the ground beneath their feet. Long before corporations came here with promises, our ancestors were here with plows, mules, gardens, tobacco fields, churches, schools, cemeteries, and communities. Our family history and community records show that our people were here before 1769. Our ancestors helped establish the Dockery Meeting House, which is what is now called Rockingham, North Carolina. This means our roots in Richmond County go back before the founding of the United States itself. So when we speak today, we're not asking for permission to belong here. We are already belong here. But for generations, Black and indigenous people have been pulled off land through fraud, tax pressure, heirs property, manipulation, partition sales, intimidation, lack of legal protection, and other coercive tax. Land that our ancestors fought to keep was taken by piece, acre by acre, and generation by generation. And how, after all that land loss, after all the environmental racism, after all the pollution, the poisoned water, the old pipes to dry wells, industrial dumping, and broken promises, Richmond County is being told that we need an Amazon data center. Let me be clear, we do not need a data center in Richmond County. We did not ask for one. Our communities did not ask for one. Our water to be placed at greater risk did not ask for hundreds of acres of land to be transformed for corporate profit. We did not ask for money, diesel generators, more energy demands, more pressure on our infrastructure, and more decisions made behind closed doors. My brother, William Ingram, said it plainly in his interview, if nobody's going to fight for our land and air and our water, it has to be us.
That's right.
And that is why we are here. Because this is not just about one project, this is about our survival, this is about whether the original inhabitants of this land will continue to be ignored while outsiders decide what happens to our future. This is about whether our children inherit clean water or corporate waste.
Yes.
This is about whether our elders will be respected or sacrificed. This is about whether our history will be honored or erased. We are not against jobs, we are not against opportunity, but we reject the idea that economic development must come at the expense of Black, Indigenous, working class, and farming communities. Most of all, we deserve the right to say no. No to environmental racism, no to corporate land grabs, no to development without consent, and no to sacrificing our water, our farms, our cemeteries, our communities, and our future. We have been demanding justice for generations. We are still demanding justice today.
Next is Ms. Bobby LaQuire Henderson in Vance County. She's a teacher and a member of the Vance Voices Against Data Centers.
So your speech made me cry. So, thank you so much for providing this opportunity for us to share our stories. I'm going to cover 3 points: our situation here in Vance County, our concerns, and our action steps. So first, here's my truth. I live in Vance County, Henderson, North Carolina. We are a small, poor, almost 20% poverty county. So data centers are preying on us, and our commissioners are seeing the money, and that's it.
Shame.
So, the way I heard about data centers is I first started seeing signs on Business 158 near where I live. So then I saw on social media somebody saying that there was a commissioners meeting where they were going to rezone for data centers. So I started researching data centers, and oh no, what I found out. So I, along with 150 other citizens in Vance County, came to that Board of Commissioners meeting. About 25 of us spoke. So our commissioners decided to delay the rezoning decision. So they called a special meeting about a week later, and in less than a minute, it took them to make the decision and tell us that 6 approved it and 1 did not. So it's very scary for us. It is very real. There was no discussion. There was no public input. No time for questions, nothing. The citizens were angry. So Natali is who is coming. He is a Maryland data center developer, has never done data centers. He's a community developer. So he has quietly been getting plots of land rezoned by our county commissioners. We found out about the 3rd one, and that's where we protested. So that one was rezoned. So he is the same developer that came to Apex, North Carolina, and because of community backlash, he left. He came to our county. So now we found out not 1 data center, they want 2 hyperscale data centers. One is near where I live. It is 4 million square feet. That is the size of five Crabtree Valley Malls, which is right here in Raleigh. It's huge. So, this is going to affect 5 established rural county housing communities, churches, farms. It's scary. It is real. So this leads me to number 2, our concerns. I did a survey of people in Vance County. Their number 1 concern is water usage. Their next concern is noise and vibration pollution, because it also affects animals. It may be sounds you don't hear. The other concern is air and water pollution, and we want transparency and public input with action. And for my third point is, this is what we have done, and so far it has been to no avail. We have created petitions. We have posted signs. We have attended and spoke at every Board of Commissioner and City Council meeting. We have written our state and local government officials. We are constantly posting on social media. It's like a full-time job. It's true. So we created a Facebook group for privacy. We have partnered with other organizations. We have hosted marches. We have created flyers and posters to distribute for those that aren't on social media. We are following bills. We are writing legislators in support of those bills. To end, we need to remember that every tree, creek, borough, and farm, and I'm going to cry, is an animal's home. It should be respected. And that's not even including people, citizens, retirees. All of us work hard for a home. For one decision to decrease, plummet our property values and diminish our quality of life. I am pleading that we pass a moratorium, that 2-year moratorium with House Bill 1189. It is important. So please pass that moratorium. You are our only hope. As Star Wars would say, you have the power to make developers and investors accountable. Thank you.
Ms. Belinda Joyner from Garrisburg, Northampton County. She's an organizer and retired teacher's assistant and a community organizer for Dogwood Alliance and the Northeastern organizer for Clean Water for NC. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. First, I need to applaud all of the speakers for having that voice to stand up for your people. If we don't stand, we don't have a voice. I got a call back in February telling me that a data center was coming to Northampton County. I went before our county commissioners and I told them, I had received this call and what it said, oh, no data center, no, we're not gonna get a data center. They already rezoned the area. They have 305 acres of land as a commercial park. They've already now rezoned it to heavy industry, knowing that in heavy industry, anything can come in. So I said to them, I said, you all have put water and sewage up there. What's coming? Oh, nothing right now. We just did that in case something happens. We'll be ready if somebody wants to come. I want you to put a pin in that. Okay? I would like to applaud the North Carolina Environmental Justice Network because they had a workshop in March on data centers, 2 days. And I had the privilege to, in a breakout center, be connected with one of the attorneys from the Southern Environmental Law Center. And so I asked her, I said, what is the max that you can get on a moratorium? She said 32 months. So when I went back to our commissioners meeting, I told them I wanted a 32-month moratorium on a data center. In the meantime, we have a county commissioner, Dr. Keidra Whitaker, and she had already expressed, we don't need a data center here, is not what we need. So the information that they gave us at the workshop, I brought it back, and I made copies of it. I gave everyone a copy, even the county commissioners, and everybody that was in the room that night, because I wanted them to see hidden costs of data centers in North Carolina. It tells you everything about it. And to keep saying that they have to research, what are you researching? What's going to change about a data center? What can you do to change it? It's already here. And, you know, like I said, it tells you about the energy, tells you about the water, the noise, air quality. But this is most important to me, the cumulative health impacts. By 2030, pollution from data centers could cause 600,000 additional asthma cases and 1,300 premature deaths annually in the United States. Annual public health costs from data centers related energy could cost $5.7 billion to $9.2 billion. Low-income black communities bear the brunt of this burden. It always comes back to us. Profit over people. They don't care whether we live or die. They want to say, I did, what I did when I was in office, I did, I bought this, I bought that. But it's not about I, it should be about us.
That part.
You know, when you take that oath and swear to uphold your community, we are their constituents while they're running for office, but once they get there, they forget who the constituents are. And I told you to put a pin in that, that he said, our county chair said that we don't have anything coming. Okay, 3 weeks after that, we were in a meeting on that Wednesday night, and we were out in the lobby waiting to go into the commissioners' meeting. And the two officers that were out there, one of them said, they're gonna have a meeting here tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And the other one said, what is it? He said, I don't know. So at the end of the commissioners' meeting, I raised my hand, I said, I have a question. I said, understand that there's gonna be a meeting here tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And one of the gentlemen was that in the meeting, he said, what is it about? And the chair looked at him and said, come and see. So I had an appointment that Thursday, but I talked to some of my community people and they went. Now remember, he said that there's nothing coming here. We just put the water and sewage there in case. Well, how about Linda? That's the name of it, Linda. It's an air separation plant. That's what the meeting was for on that Thursday, to let the people know what was coming to Northampton County. And mind you, we were in the meeting Wednesday night. But then when we asked why we didn't know, they said they had a non-disclosure. And I think that's something that needs to be banned. Because if you live in a community and you pay tax every day, you have a right to know what's coming to your community.
Transparency.
We already have an Inviva plant with noise. This plant is gonna bring a humming noise, 24/7. And then you're talking about people being sick, depressed. You know, this is what we get. So when you have your people running for office, just because you know them, you don't always have to vote for them. You need to know their record. You need to search that record to see who they are for and who they're against. They use the word economic development like it's a song. We're not against economic development. Bring some development that will help the community. Last year, and I'm gonna stop in a minute. Last year we had an intern that I recommended for clean water for North Carolina. And they did a speak up, speak out. And her speech was beyond a degree. In other words, I'm in college. I was born and raised in Northampton County, but once I get my degree, what do I have to come back to? The other one spoke on recreation. We don't have any rec centers there. The nearest grocery store to me in Northampton County is 18 miles, one way. But when we speak about a grocery store, nobody can do anything about it, but then they can bring this plant in here with no problem at all. You know, and then the other one, discovering opportunities. And the last one, the future of education. You know, I get emotional because I am a retired teacher assistant, and these children that spoke, I know them. I know their families. And it would be good if our children could go off to college and come back and get a job rather than just coming back visiting for the weekend.
That part.
We don't have it. So I keep saying, and I'll say to you all, keep speaking. Because if you don't speak, nothing will be done. Thank you.
This has been really impactful, and all the speeches, as people have said, we here in the legislature, we don't know. And it only is when we uplift voices that and bring people here to hear what the experiences are on the ground that we really understand what the issues are and how we can go forward in solutions. So these concerns are not theoretical, as you can hear and saw here today. Large-scale data centers can consume a large amount of electricity and millions of gallons of water every day. And during this time when much of North Carolina, again, what was mentioned is experiencing a drought,
We are.
conditions that are increasingly providing or giving pressure towards water resources, communities are asking whether or not to extinguish safeguards. We should safeguard everything that we need to do when it comes to protecting our water and our agricultural needs and our future growth. So again, we appreciate all the efforts here, all the people who are out here who are fighting for their communities. And yes, the work still needs to be done here. And we've been trying, right? But you all are in the power of changing that power. Okay, I'm a legislator, but I'm gonna echo the last woman here. You have the power to get people out. That's what real term limits are all about. Go online, talk to those people in those offices and say, what do you feel about data centers? What do you feel about water, our environment, our land, our people, our public health? And get it straight from their mouths. You can tell when people are not telling you the truth. People need to earn your vote because we're called representatives, we're called elected officials for a reason. We represent you. As somebody earlier said, it's not about it's about us. And that'll help. Like, we have bills. I have bills specifically to quell this, to stop this. But I can't do it alone.
That's right.
So I beg you, please elect people who match your values, advocate your values, can stand up with me to make sure we get these things done. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. So I want to open the floor for questions. Yes, ma'am.
So a few weeks ago, the House passed Senate Bill 730, which
Correct.
is that Ratepayer Protection Act that has
Yes.
a lot of regulations on data centers, and you proposed a number of amendments. I was
Yes.
wondering if there's any updates on that legislation.
So at this point, because it was changed from the original Senate version, it has to go into conference. Conferees have not been assigned, and so there's not any updates. Obviously, they're supposedly working on a budget right now, and we are working on election, but like there's other priorities that seem to be had put on the front burner. But it's not to say that I won't continue or my colleagues won't continue to get better portions of that done, and we'll let you know when we have more movement on it. Any other questions? Yes.
Municipalities across the state in the last couple of months have been passing moratoriums on
Yes.
data centers like you all have mentioned today.
Yes.
Obviously, those moratoriums are for a limited time period. So I'm wondering, do you have hope that municipalities will continue to pass those unlimited moratoriums? Or do you think that in this period when they're looking into research, will they actually be able to come through with data center plans that could be not so detrimental to the community? What are your thoughts on that? Are you hopeful for any development that wouldn't be so harmful?
Right. So I think technology moves. It isn't actually stagnant, but not to say with the research that we have now, it is not a lot of jobs, not really true economic development, and really a huge impact on energy and water. I would hope that elected officials at the local level who have a lot of this power currently could do the research, talk to people who are experts to know what the current status is and what it can impact their community on. I used to represent APEC, so I followed it very much, even though it's not my district anymore, it affects my residents. So, yeah, like the people around me didn't want it. I advocated with them to not bring it in. It was Natali, the same. Yeah, exactly. I can't control some of the municipalities who want it. At this point in time, that control is on you all to elect those people who will align with your values. Until we can create some state laws in place, but that'll only come in time. But we are looking, water is such a priceless commodity. I don't know how we could provide maybe closed loop, but even then, that's not really fully actualized. And energy, like they talk about nuclear, and that's not going to be for another 10 or 20 years. So right now, it's what I don't think any of the research has been showing that it would be favorable in terms of the issues that we've identified here.
I was looking at the news in Corpus Christi, Texas. They have built so many facilities there that they are running out of water. I mean,
Yeah.
who would imagine that you're living on Earth that you would run out of water?
Right.
But that's how many facilities that they
I
have.
watched that too. Yeah, it's scary.
It is. It's really scary. I'm like, wow.
Any other questions? Yes.
Currently, there's about 15 proposed data centers in North Carolina. Are there any that are of the most I would hate to rank it because it impacts, communities
Right.
differently, but are there any that are on the radar that are of great concern to you as a legislator, but also that you're hearing from communities?
Right. So I also try to talk to both sides, including data center developers, to see, so why do you think it's beneficial? So it was mentioned here that there's different scales of data centers. The hyperscale is even larger than a large scale. But we actually here in Raleigh, not to say I promote or permit any of this, but there's actually one being built, a data center that's called a community data center. So 8 megawatts, closed loop, so very smaller scale. I don't know how I feel about that. I still need to research it too, but there could be ways to make little ones around that don't affect, but I still don't know how that would be.
Is that the reason for the 100 megawatts, I believe?
Oh, 1,000, yeah.
In the
SB 730, there is 1,000 megawatt or more. Yeah. Oh, 200, yeah.
No, it's 25.
But yeah,
And
20,
up
yes.
is
Oh, for the
considered
data center side,
in-
yeah.
yeah,
On the
in
energy
that
side, it
deal.
was like the nuclear. But yeah, redefining 25 and then
up.
and up. And so that would, the community data center definition would go below that. So I think there's still exploration. And then the definition of industry versus actual standalone data centers versus ones that supplement a current industry. So there's still a lot of discussions to be done when it comes to defining data centers, energy, pulling, and then water and public health in general. Okay, well, go ahead.
Correction, it's 25 proposed data centers in North Carolina, and we are tracking them and tracking moratoriums across the state.
Wonderful, thank you.
2 hyperscale where I live, in a little bitty town, 2 hyperscale.
Anything else? Yes.
Yeah, in Utah, there was a proposed data center that was incredibly large, and there was a lot of concerns regarding the environmental effects in the watershed and a drought there as well.
Yeah.
They just recently had an election where 2 of those commissioners, the county commissioners who pushed it forward, lost their election. Do you want to speak to that of how voters can hold,
Right.
even when there's a lack of transparency in the process and frustration, how constituents, voters, people in their communities can hold their elected officials accountable?
Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, the power is in the people. And I'm going to talk about some of your areas. Some of your voter turnout is about 50 to 60%. That's not getting everybody out. You need to know who represents you. And you are the seed to increase that voice, right? You all are your community leaders. Make your voice heard, not just here, but the power of your voice actually is in your community. Let people know what's happening here. Let people know what elected officials are not being transparent, that are or blocking you out. Because then, like, people don't know that one vote. Like, look at the election over with Sam Page and Phil Berger. That was determined on election night with 3 votes. Is that 3 votes, 7 votes, 3 votes? All of you in this room could have changed that election. 3 of you here could have changed that election. So know your voice has power, your vote has power. So if you need help mobilizing in your communities, that's actually what I'm here for. This is what I grew up in. I didn't grow up to be an elected official. I grew up to be an advocate. So if you need help mobilizing your community, let me know. I was going to touch base with you, like, definitely. So that's the power, the people.
What is your read on what other lawmakers are? What is your read on their understanding of data center development? I know AI data centers is something that have recently come up in headlines.
Yeah.
They're somewhat new for lawmakers to be paying attention to. What are your discussions with other lawmakers, whether it be Democrats or Republicans? What has that been like? Do people seem to understand, align with your view about what needs to be done, or has there been pushback in any areas?
I think with a lot of things right now, including data centers and including energy and water and everything else, I think our legislators can, I'm going to call my colleagues to task, they could do better. I mean, like, but at the same time, the technology and this information is moving so quickly. And some of us, my staff's here, we only get 2. And like, some of us only get 1. And it's really hard to keep up with everything that's going on. I think I'm gonna be positive in the sense that people are open to learn. They want to know more. And like somebody said earlier, water is not a Republican or a Democratic issue. And a lot of these things are not as well. I'm hopeful in my colleagues, be it Republican or Democrat, I see that they want to learn more. It's just the desire at this point in time with a lot of competing issues can be quite challenging. But I'm here. I also offer my knowledge and my research to help them understand, and I've been received very well. I haven't gotten pushback during the works of 750, and yeah, I'm hopeful. Anything else? We'll go ahead offline on this. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for speaking, and let's keep the fight going. Thank you.